Hi everyone, this is Dr. Catherine Kelly, and I am wondering, are you betraying your soul through guilt? Now, I know guilt is one of those trigger words that for a lot of people creates a lot of turmoil, a lot of discomfort, and you have to remember that every single emotion is a form of a cue and also a form of a sort of karma that we're supposed to be working through so that we can better align with our souls. So if you think about guilt and the times that we have felt guilty, basically guilt is just that signal that we are doing or are about to do something that is going to misalign us from our souls. So guilt is one of those things that really is one of the clearest indications that we are taking ourselves away from our true north, taking ourselves away from basically that center of who we are. And in my book, basically the subtitle of the book is Aligning with Spirit for Radiant Living. Well, aligning with spirit means aligning with your own spirit, aligning with what spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, has in store for you. But when we misalign ourselves, oftentimes the result is guilt or regret. And so what often follows guilt, it's regret. But you have to think about it and sort it out to the point where most cases, if we are feeling guilty about doing something or not doing something, it's because it's not lined up with who we are. It's not aligned with what we want for our lives. So we have to really think about this. You know, people who are leaving relationships or marriages, a lot of times they stay because they're so guilty for what they're doing to the other person. In some ways, that might make sense. But on the other hand, in most cases, they're overthinking the situation. They're over compensating for the fact that they are not living up to what their true self, their true soul is. Leaving a job. One thing I feel guilty about is if I drop something on the pavement and I think about not picking it up, I feel guilty. So I go back and pick it up because I am very much interested in protecting and taking care of Mother Earth. So those are just examples. But if there is something that is triggering guilt in you, I would really encourage, spending some time thinking about what is misaligned in me, what is not lining up with my true self. Because guilt is the biggest flag that we are misaligning. We're taking ourselves off of our center. Now, in this human world of ours, there are so many things that take us off of our true north, our true center. You know, and I really do believe that our main mission on this planet is basically to find ourselves, line up with ourselves, and keep it. But and my example that I use with folks is that it's like a video game. You know, I don't know if you remember the first Atari video games that were out there. It had this little square pad, little red button, and then this stick. And basically you had to steer to try to keep yourself aligned with whether it was a spaceship game and you were trying to get asteroids out of your way, whether you were trying to outsteer some of the other objects that were coming at you. But that's what life is about. It's steering our lives to align with ourselves as best we can for radiant living. When we are not in that true north, when we are not being true to ourselves, that's when we feel misaligned. That's when we don't feel good about our lives. So think about how guilt has led your life and think about how you need to be true to your soul, true to yourself, so that you can line up and be in a much higher state of radiant living. Food for thought, food for the soul, but definitely I would love to hear from you. Go to my website, www.drcatherinetkelly.com for more information, or you can also go to, my Facebook page, look up Dr. Catherine T. Kelly, or to my YouTube page as well. So I hope you have a fabulous day and line up with your true north.